Welcome back, sporting fans, to another spectacular episode of the Paint the Wall podcast. I, as always, am your host, Steve, and I am joined this week by a man whose favorite number is spaghetti, but you all know him as Logan.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those good numbers that it just sounds fun. And kids kind of struggle with numbers at the beginning, and I just picked up spaghetti instead of 3, so it works.
And just kind of rolled with it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, not as good as an episode to talk about this week as we probably hoped we would have, but
Yeah.
I guess it's not the worst.
It's not great.
We're of course talking about a loss to Vancouver
Mm-hmm.
and a draw with St. Louis, which that's good, I guess.
It's not a loss.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
Let's briefly brush over this Vancouver game.
Okay, sure.
See if we can get this one done. What were your thoughts on this one?
It's one of those hard ones. I mean, there's moments where I thought we looked decent. But then there's moments where it just felt like we weren't doing what we needed to. It felt like one of those games where there were just strong lapses in concentration and judgment, and I think we're just seeing kind of the effects of that 7-22 stretch. It's just hard to keep that up for that long at that high of a level. So I think that's what we're seeing here. I think that's why it didn't look as good. It wasn't as clinical, and it just felt like we weren't making the right decisions and executing. So I don't put a ton of stock in this game. They played a really good team. We on the road on a Wednesday in another country in another time zone. Like, there's just so much going on. I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. I thought we played decently considering what we had out there. Our lineup wasn't exactly a top lineup.
Yeah.
I think a top lineup probably maybe gets that win.
Maybe.
All things considered. I mean, one of their goals was an own goal. So,
right. It's very true.
Take that off the board if Valladaire's not playing, and maybe our normal lineup can get something better going. But who knows? I agree. I don't put a whole lot of stock into this one.
Yeah.
We did get a start from Vargas,
which
turned out to be just as bad as I figured it would be.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I think it was last week we talked about this. Might have been two episodes ago. I don't remember. But
I think it was last week.
But I do remember I said that I don't really want to see him start all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example of why I think let's just pull him off the bench and let him be a spark. But I understand the thought of him being young and starting minutes are valuable minutes, but they're valuable for everybody. And when we're in a position where we desperately need to win games, having him run around and do nothing for 70 minutes is not the move, I don't think.
But. Right. And I do think a lot of it comes down to what's our attitude in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think knowing Peter, until it's mathematically done, he will never say we're out of the playoff race.
Which is good.
But I think if we're talking about we're mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, I think that shifts the conversation to, let's give him as many minutes as we can. We don't care about losses at this point. But I agree with you. As long as we're in contention for playoffs, then I don't think we need starting minutes from him.
Yeah.
That being said, as long as Peter is continuing his trend of actually using his substitutes appropriately and not waiting until the 95th minute to do his substitutes, I'm good with that. If we're getting 20, 30 minutes a game out of him, I'm more than happy with him not starting a large number of games for the season.
Yeah.
He's just got a little bit of growing to do before he can do that.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to be able to provide any spark at the beginning. He doesn't really seem to know where he's supposed to be or what he's doing.
Right.
He took 2 shots in this Vancouver game that were just like, why?
Yeah.
What are you doing there? Maybe they were supposed to be crosses and he mishit them. The second one definitely looked like a clear shot because he looked up at the goal and then ripped one and it rolled to the goalkeeper. It was just, I don't know, it wasn't great.
Yeah. I agree.
My biggest takeaway really from this game is that we have to re-sign Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be on that list of players that we re-sign.
Yeah, 100%.
I saw an interesting photo on Twitter today. It was a picture of 4 athletes, Kansas City athletes. It was a post about, how awesome it is to be a Kansas City sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it was Patrick, Bobby Witt, Labonta,
mm-hmm.
And then Jake Davis. And there was a lot of comments, a lot of people being like, I don't really follow sporting. Is he their best player? And a lot of people were like, well, he's homegrown. Like, he's American. He's at the Olympics right now. And yeah, he's their best player. And I didn't want to get into it, but I was looking at it and I was like, I understand why he's the one that we picked for this photo.
Yeah.
But he's not our best player. He's one of
them.
Mm-hmm. But so I guess I was just curious, am I wrong here? Do you think he's our best player, or is it maybe just because he's the one that's at the Olympics right now?
Is he our best player? No.
Okay.
I think he is our highest upside potential player.
Okay.
I think we could be seeing the beginning of what might be one of our better players for club history.
Yeah. Okay.
If he follows kind of the shallowy path and he stays his entire career.
Yeah.
But I don't believe he's our best player. No, I agree.
Okay.
Cool. I think that's by and far Eric Tommy.
Okay. I was just like, am I at it? Because there's a lot of people that were commenting that are like, oh, I watch every game. He's definitely the best player. And I'm like, nope, he's not. No. And if you watched every game, it's pretty, he's top 5 for sure. Mm-hmm. You could probably pretty easily argue top 3.
Yeah. I would go that far.
Maybe even top 2. I would have some input on that.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any debate on who our best player is.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay. I was just honestly, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like, is it me? Am I? Because there were so many comments. I'm like, again, I don't understand why they picked him for the photo. No one's going to know who Eric Tommy is. They're going to be like, why are we putting a picture of a random German? For that? It's like, well, he's the best player on the team. That was the whole point in this photo. Also, if we're being honest, Labonta's not the best player on their team either. She's more arguably like a number 2 best, but if we're just talking pure talent. But
I think if we're talking the most recognizable face on all 4 of those teams, then yes, they picked the right 4 players.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, those are not the 4 best players on their teams.
Okay. Cool. I don't know why I brought that up now, but
I don't know.
I had a thing in here that we have to re-sign Tommy, and then it clicked in my head. I was like, I wanted to mention this and make sure I'm not crazy. But
but no, I totally agree with you. Eric Tommy has to be an off-season signing because he is by far our best player.
Yeah.
Now, whenever we go sign Antoine Griezmann, maybe that's a different conversation. But
yeah, he's old though.
That's true. As it stands right now, 100%, we have to re-sign Eric Tommy.
Yep. All right. Well, if you're cool, then I'd love to move on to St. Louis because I would.
Yeah.
I'm way more interested in talking about this game.
Let's do it.
Awesome. St. Louis started off with a bang. One of the best signs I've seen they showed in pregame. It just said St. Loser.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Definitely the announcers were really talking about how like real of a rivalry this is and how quickly it has become a rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
There's already been a rivalry between the 2 cities,
right?
So that kind of already played into it.
Mm-hmm.
I do have this picture screenshot from the game that I took.
Amazing.
That pretty much sums up. They're going for a throw in pretty early in the game, and there's 2 Sporting fans that are just like giving them the old French thumbs up, if you will. I was like, "Yep, all right, this is definitely a real rivalry."
Amazing.
I paused that and had to take a screenshot. I'm like, I need this on a background on my computer.
Nice.
It's great. The announcers also did mention, and I kind of forgot about this year, that our rivalry still does not have a name.
It does not.
And honestly, I hadn't thought about it at all this year.
Right.
Last year, they talked about it a lot, but I hadn't thought about it at all. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. We really don't have a name, but I don't know that I care.
Every good rivalry needs a name.
Yeah, it does, and I think eventually one will appear, or they'll just finally come to their senses and start calling it the Dar-B-Q.
The Dar-B-Q is really good. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is that your leading one?
Yes, that's my favorite.
I do like the I70 Darby.
I do too, but it's already a thing, so
it is.
That's why
Well,
I'm like, well,
sort
there's
of.
already
It's the fact
an
that it's
I70 series, so
yeah, but it's the fact that it's the Darby that makes it.
Yeah, that's true.
The soccer capital is one that I like, except the reason I don't like it is because it's not our like. I don't think anybody who's really a sport like a real Kansas City soccer person believes that we are the sporting capital of America.
Okay, that's a wild take.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think we're nearly as much of a soccer city as we had the potential to be. I think 10 years ago, if you had asked who's going to be the soccer capital of America, I would have agreed with you 100%. It's Kansas City. But I think the momentum died at some point because it doesn't feel like there has continued to be massive growth around the soccer culture here. I think that we're talking, I know you're going to hate this. I think it's Portland. I think Portland has an insane soccer culture and it's continued to grow. And I think I don't know. I don't know. That wasn't necessarily the point I was trying to make. I'm sure you have thoughts. If you want to talk about it, we can. But I don't know. I just don't think we're the soccer capital of America. I don't think we are.
Interesting. What a horribly divisive thing for you to say on a Kansas City podcast.
Yeah, that's fair.
Please give Logan a ton of hate for that. That would be great.
Sure, go for it.
No, I mean Portland didn't get a World Cup.
That's true.
They're not a World Cup city.
Mm-hmm.
They're not one of the U.S. men's and women's national teams' preferred venues or cities.
Yeah,
they don't have training facilities there for the U.S. teams, so
true.
we have all those things.
It's true.
So I think that's why people think that the reason I don't think that the soccer capital derby or whatever they call it makes any sense is because St. Louis has absolutely zero argument to be the soccer capital of America. They have absolutely no argument for that. So that just doesn't make sense as a name because there's no argument there. Which, if we're being honest, there's no argument about the barbecue either. But
right,
at least
that's why I'm not in love with the Dar-B-Q, because I don't think anybody who really knows barbecue really thinks St. Louis is a barbecue city.
Yeah, I think it's just a more clever name. I think is why
it is a good name.
Is why that one's a good one, because the name it's clever, like it rolls off the tongue. But you're right. Nobody's the best barbecue in St. Louis is the first one you get to after you leave St. Louis. So.
Yeah, exactly. Get on 70, go west. The first gas station. Find a sign that says Kansas City. The first gas station you see, that's the best barbecue in Kansas.
Yeah, that's the best barbecue in St. Louis. So I don't know that you're right. I don't think that's necessarily an accurate name either. But but at least they have barbecue there.
They do.
So it's like, but if you're like, oh, we're the soccer capital, okay. Why? You've had a team for 2 years.
My preferred name is the I70 Derby, but I do like the Heartland Derby a lot too.
Yeah,
I do like that one.
That one is good.
And then just for the memes, the Cease and Desist Derby is pretty great.
Yeah, that one is pretty good too.
But anyway, that was a tangent.
All right. Anyway, more about the game.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
This was our 21st different lineup in a row for us.
Yeah,
which is insane. Consistency doesn't. Consistency is a key in winning games. 100%. For us recently, it hasn't been. So,
well, we won like 3 games in a row. Let's calm down.
That's why I said recently.
Okay. I just can't believe you can make 21 different lineups out of the number of players we have. That's impressive.
Right?
I think that was mathematically possible.
Also, the back four that we had in this game. First time they've ever played together.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
That's crazy.
Leibold, Volader, Castellanos, and Shelton. Oh, yeah, because of Shelton. That makes sense.
Right, that is fair.
But yeah, that's the first time these four have ever played together.
Okay.
Sorry. Have ever started together.
Okay.
I believe is what
sense.
they said.
Okay.
They may have played together before, but they've never started. Made a start. So, let's see. I think an ideal front three, being that Polito was on the bench.
Yeah.
Give me that all day long. Ideal midfield, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Tear. So that's kind of an ideal lineup other than the back four.
Right.
I would pretty much rather sub out all of them except for Castellanos.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, health reasons, we can't have our ideal lineup, but
not for
even so, I kind of take Basong over Leibold anyway. So.
Oh, right. Yes, 100%.
So I mean, Adembe is obviously my pick, which
right
could be soon.
He was questionable for this game, so that is improvement for sure. Which
and Peter said at the beginning of the year he could be back in the summer. So
I cannot believe that he recovered from an ACL tear.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this been? 9 months?
Yeah, something like that.
That's unreal. So
I mean, he's young, and you got to remember they don't have the same bodies we have. So
That's true.
They also the treatment. Like, I mean, you're
Yeah.
getting constant treatment every
Right.
single day by some of the best,
Right.
physical therapists and doctors in the
Mhm.
city, let alone in the state.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. That's stuff that normal people don't have. But also, we're not built like athletes. So like you and I sprain an ACL, it's probably 2 years before we're back to normal, if we ever get back to
if
normal.
ever. Yeah, exactly. No, I just compare it to like football players, which I understand football players are, the game is different, and I think that matters drastically. But I look at football players like it's a minimum of a year.
Yeah.
So, but still impressive. So good. I mean, that is nothing short of hard work on his part. So good for him to get back there. Maybe it makes a difference. I don't know. I know that we were. I mean, he left the season with hot form last year, playing tremendous, scoring some goals. So I really hope that he's a key part of our coming back.
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice to have another piece over there, and maybe then Leibold or Basong could slide over and help out right back too a little bit.
Yeah,
especially while Davis is gone. Although I guess Davis will be back by the time we get back to MLS play.
Back to MLS play, yes, he should be back.
I mean, he won't be there for the Leagues Cup, but until we make a quarterfinal, I don't care about that anyway.
We won't be there for much of the Leagues Cup either.
Yeah, true. St. Louis had a back three. I was really hoping to make that hurt a lot more than we did.
Yeah.
Although, having said that, even just in the moment here, I'm realizing we actually did make it hurt. I'm kind of forgetting the biggest reason that we didn't win this game.
Yeah.
Roman Berkey.
Yeah. That man played his lights out.
Yeah. Which he's an incredible goalkeeper. And everybody gave St. Louis a lot of crap when they used a DP spot on a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But they had the idea of, we're going to make sure that this position is locked down. And so far, other than in the playoffs last year against us, that man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he all-star appearance last year, all-star appearance this year.
Yeah, he's
is he on the all-star team
too? I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the starter because Pius is the starter, but I believe he made the all-star team again.
Yeah. So kudos to him. I mean, he's come on and made a tremendous introduction to the league. So
yeah,
good for him. And yeah, he's been insane.
Yeah, that was. I mean, if there's any other keeper in goal besides maybe Pius, we probably win that 4-1.
Well, and Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, maybe. He's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah. I haven't looked. We haven't played. Well, did we play them this year? I don't even remember.
Yeah, we played them once. It was early.
Yeah, I haven't really paid any attention to him. I paid more attention to Pius, but I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to Lloris to know if he's as well as Berkey and them are. So
he is ranked second in MLS with 8 clean sheets.
Okay, yeah, well, maybe him too.
So he's doing all right.
I don't even know if I say you put Tim Melia in that goal, we don't. It might still be 3-1. Like, there's a couple of those saves that I'm like, I got a lot of faith in Tim Melia, but he's also 36, so man, there might be at least one of those he doesn't save. But
I agree.
But Berkey had a game that was unfortunate for us. But also, why do we keep getting goalkeepers' best performances of their life?
I don't know.
All the way down to Union Omaha, that goalkeeper played out of his mind against us.
Yeah.
Why does that keep happening?
I don't know. We keep getting them. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but it is what it is. I mean, yeah, but I mean, the expected goal, we had 2.3 team expected goal, which to only get one goal is bonkers.
Yeah.
20 shots, 6 on target, 58 possession percentage. I mean, just wild numbers.
Yeah. Feels like a game that, well, see, I even hesitate to say that. I was going to say it feels like a game we should have won, but it's like, this is a classic example of we're also playing an MLS team with MLS players, and we didn't win because a goalkeeper played out of his mind.
Right.
And being that I was a goalkeeper my entire life, I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd love to say we should have won that game, but like, it's not like we missed an open goal twice and that's why we lost. Or we didn't take shots when we should have. This goalkeeper just played really well.
Yeah, the goalkeeper is one of the 11. I mean, it's not like we beat ourselves. It's not like we hit the post 9 times.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Their goalkeeper just played better than us.
Yeah.
So as much as we should have, I mean, as much as it was crazy that we didn't, I mean, they just played better than us.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't play better, so it was a draw, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, we definitely played better than they did, I thought.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
We created more chance. They only had 10 shots, 2 on target. I mean, we definitely played better than they did, but
I agree.
They did, of note, they did have Touchert. I don't remember how to say his name. He played really well, and he was all over the place. So I should have remembered his name, but it's been a week. So
I think it's Touchert.
Touchert. That's what I think it is too. Yeah. But he was eligible to play now that the window's open. They actually signed him back in April, I believe. Just hasn't been able to play, but is now eligible. And I took a note. It would sure be nice to know, or sure be nice if we had been prepared like that.
Right.
That'd have been cool. Although I did see outside of the game, PV has said they are close to wrapping up a deal for one player. We'll hopefully have it done soon. And maybe a second will be ready depending on roster flexibility. So
yeah,
I haven't heard much since then.
But I was just gonna say he did say on Tuesday. The quote that I got or that I saw was, "We will sign somebody in the summer transfer window."
Yeah. I figured we were going to get one. I was a little surprised to hear that there could be a second, depending on our flexibility. Flexibility is why I mostly thought we wouldn't have a second. I don't know that we're going to have a ton of flexibility there, or there's going to be somebody that we want to move around enough to sign. But maybe there is. I don't know.
I don't think anybody with any realistic expectations expected a lot out of this summer transfer window.
Yeah.
I think we all knew we needed one really solid player. Like we all agree we need one, especially because we're kind of wasting a DP spot right now on, I think, Rado. Yeah. He doesn't need the DP spot.
Right.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I think all the expectations are on this winter transfer window.
Yeah, for sure.
I think everybody expects
that'll be after our roster. All the, we're going to release a bunch of people probably, and so that'll be after that. We'll have to sign a bunch of players then too. So that'll be more of a thing. But would be cool if we get 2 this round. It would kind of show a little bit more of a like, oh, maybe they were serious.
It would instill some confidence in the comments that have been made for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. I know we want to talk about the obvious thing. I just figured we would wait till the end to talk about that.
Okay.
Let's see. The only other thing in here is Tim Parker is such a whiner. I'm sure if he was on my team, I would love him. He's one of those players, but like I can't stand the guy because he's just such a whiny baby.
Yeah, he is pretty vocal.
Let's see. Best call and response I've ever heard. Chant, the sporting tendency. That was the best one I've ever heard. That one was loud. The one right at the beginning. Nope, right at the end of first half.
Right.
Crazy loud. More crazy saves from Berkey. This is where the incident comes in. But again, I figured we'll just hit that last.
Sure.
More FU Berkey. I typed that a lot in these these notes.
Wonder why.
Yeah, right. Second half, Polito comes on. Was super excited. Yay. Although I guess he got an assist. So
he did.
And he honestly, the ball he put in, not a whole lot of players could put that ball in. So
no,
I guess to his credit,
it was a well placed ball.
Showing his talent finally. Just a little flash of it. We won't see it again for 3 more games, but
I mean, I don't know your thoughts on it. In my opinion, I think that was the one mistake Berkey made this game. Like,
yeah,
that should have been
absolutely.
his ball, 100%.
Yeah, he should have come out for it, or done something with it.
Well, he shouldn't have come out as aggressively as he did because he was out of position. He couldn't get back to get to the ball.
Right.
But
yeah.
But
that's kind of what I mean by Polito having the skill that he does, notices that and puts that high ball in across.
Yep.
That's impressive. Not a lot of players could do that.
Yep.
So he does have the talent. He just hasn't shown it this year. Although I don't think anybody has ever questioned his ability. That is never, including you and I. We've never been like, I don't think he has the skill. We know the skill's there. It's more, why are you not showing the skill that we already know you have?
Yeah.
So, it's nice to see it even just a little bit.
On
that goal, Willie Agata's goal, I heard what may be the best line from an announcer I've ever heard.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Nate Bukaty announcing this game is perfect, and I hope he always announces Kansas City St. Louis games.
Yeah.
It was not from him, though. It was from the other guy. He said, Willie Agata rising up like a salmon.
I didn't hear that.
It was funny enough that Nate Bukaty, while laughing, repeated it. He said, rising up like a salmon. Huh?
Amazing.
And the other guy said, yeah, you know how they jump up out of the water.
Amazing.
And I was like, that's the best thing I think I've ever heard. Like, that's so good. And apparently he's used it before. I saw online some people said he has used that before. That's a phrase that this announcer uses.
Amazing.
But rising up like a salmon, just so good.
So good.
All right, I don't think I have anything else. Oh, why do we play short goal kicks? This is so stupid. It's so simple. Just stop doing it.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of I mean, these games are really, I've been sick this week too, so everything's kind of just a cloud in my mind. But Tim Melia's mess up on the goal kick, that was what I'm talking about here, right? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I know he said after the game, 100% his fault, duh. But he said he thought he saw something and he went to stop his foot and it just didn't stop all the way and it tapped the ball. So I'm like, okay, well, that happens, I guess. He thought he saw like a St. Louis player next to him or something.
Yeah.
So he stopped it to try to not kick it and it just nudged it. But kudos to him, I guess, for being able to put himself in a position that obviously confused the St. Louis player enough that he wasn't able to capitalize.
Yeah, very true.
So, yeah, all right. Let's that's enough with that. 1-1 final, 20 shot. Feels unfortunate. Maybe I'll feel different later. That's what I put. And I do. Like I said, it feels less unfortunate, less like, or more like Berkey had a great game. What can we do? You know?
I will say I want to give kudos to Thoresen for the goal. He exhibited what may be some of the best patience I've seen from a soccer player in a long time.
That was good.
I mean, he just made a bunch of guys miss. He was even on the ground at one point.
True.
Made a bunch of guys miss and still put it in. Obviously, we could have played it better, but kudos to him. Heck of a goal. So
yeah. But should it matter? Should that praise matter at all? Obviously, he received a yellow card earlier in the game for a gentleman's foul, if you will, a necessary gentleman's foul.
Sure.
For pulling, I don't remember who it was, but it doesn't matter. Just pulled him to the ground. I think it was Willie Agata, maybe. It doesn't matter. He got burned. He was the last defender, so he pulled him down. Oh, he wasn't the last defender. That's why it wasn't a red card. Right. So he pulled him down. Gentleman's foul. No problem there.
Yeah.
But then
tactical foul.
That's a better term for it, probably. But then 2 minutes later?
It was 2 minutes later, yes.
Should I don't know. I don't want to give away my opinion. But a lot of people think could have received a second yellow, which would have been a red card send off, which was before he scored a goal. You first. Go ahead.
I am probably going to surprise you in that I do not think it should have been a second yellow.
Really?
I think it should have been a straight red card because that was reckless.
Okay. Yeah.
But at a minimum, it should have been a second yellow card. Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting. Let me find where I put nuts on it. There we go. So the announcer had an interesting point that initially I agreed with, but the more I watched it and the more I thought about it, the less I agreed with it.
Okay.
The announcers, again, not Nate Bukaty. I really should just look up
You
who the other
should
guy
really
was,
start.
but
Just when the game starts and they give us the commentators' names, I really need you to start writing them down.
I usually do, or I'll go back if they're like really
Mhm.
good. But this one, I was just so focused on it being Nate Bukaty. Also, I didn't get to watch the game live. I watched it because
Right.
I was at a wedding, so I watched it later when I got home, and I was like half asleep already. So I was like, I'm barely gonna be able to watch this game. So,
Right. Fair enough.
but he did have an interesting point
Uh-huh.
talking about how that's a yellow if he had just got one. He was basically saying that it would be a shame to see him sent off because of that specific yellow. So a final warning seems kind of okay to him because the foul before, I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but he basically was saying like it would be kind of a shame in this game because the yellow before needed to be a yellow, but it was like a necessary foul kind of thing, if you will. So it's a shame to have one of those be your other yellow card, and then you have this, which in a normal game this would definitely be a yellow card. At least the tackle would be a yellow card.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess in the moment when he was talking about it, I was like, I guess I can kind of understand what he's saying. But then I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought about it more and I listened and I watched the foul more and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how this wasn't a yellow
No.
card.
I mean, I understand the point he's trying to make. I just disagree with it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's even I don't think any previous situation should affect that situation. A yellow is a yellow. I hate the opinion of refs that like, well, he just got his first yellow. I'm going to give him one more warning. No, every foul is independently graded. Now, if we're talking about persistent infringement, that's different. But when we're just talking about a yellow for just a reckless foul, in my opinion, a yellow is a yellow. If he earned a yellow card, he gets a yellow card and he's gone. To me, that doesn't make any difference. I understand that I am not a professional referee. I know that there's a lot of situational awareness that goes into it, and I could probably be talked out of that opinion. But at the end of the day, this was a yellow clear as day. And again, I could make a strong argument for red, and I've seen a lot of people agree with that. But very much a minimum of a second yellow.
Yeah. I think I think what you're describing, and from what I've heard a lot of people say, is that overwhelmingly, your answer is the referee's answer. The other answer is the player's answer.
Sure.
And that seems to be a different. Obviously, there are some refs that don't ref that way, but overall, from what I understand, the way that you're taught and what a regular unbiased referee should think is that you are judging the foul, not the circumstances in the game.
Right.
You like you said, you have to judge every foul individually because it's not about the whole game. It's not about a collective. It is this a foul? Yes or no? Yes. Is it a yellow card? Yes. No. Is it a red card? Yes. No. That's what it is. It's not, well, this would be a yellow if it was 10 minutes later.
Right.
Then why is it not a yellow now?
Exactly.
You know? And I would like to think that you and I are consistent enough that I would think the same thing if this was Jake Davis and not the St. Louis player.
Sure.
If it's a yellow, it's a yellow. You know, we can argue all day long about if foul should be a yellow or should not. That's a different conversation. But, you know, this one in particular, I think was absolutely a yellow.
Yeah.
I side on it's not quite a straight red, but real close, real close, I think. The main thing for me is I don't think there was any sort of, and I know you don't have to have intention for a red card, but I think in this case, it seemed definitely not an intentional. It was pretty reckless. But his studs weren't up. He just came down with his studs.
Right.
I think is really but when he went in to get the ball, he had studs down. That's really the thing that I think is like, you know, he went for the ball and then the ball wasn't there anymore, but it's not like he was trying to take the player out, in my opinion. So I think it's just shy of being what should be a straight red. Definitely should have been a second yellow, and he's gone now.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it doesn't need to be intentional to be a red card.
Right.
But it is. It was reckless and dangerous. Which I can't remember the exact verbiage of a red card at this exact moment, but I mean that is the intent of one of them is was it reckless to the point of dangerous? And for me that met this criteria. Because you're right, he didn't necessarily go in with his studs. But unfortunately, the way that he contacted the ball and then Rado Ya, it very quickly turned into studs raking. I mean, clearly taking his shin and ankle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I think it's pretty clear that it is a minimum of a yellow card. And honestly, I think if you pulled 100 refs and that ref being one of them, I think they would all agree this is a yellow.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think he just took that situational awareness in too much. And I think he didn't want to give him a second yellow 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Which I could also, I know I'm talking myself in circles here, but I can understand why refs do apply situational awareness. And that's probably one of the things that makes good refs is they know how to apply situational awareness properly. And that's part of being a game managing ref is you're good at controlling those situations and you know when to kind of let things slide a little more. But I think he missed the mark on this one. I think this one was clear enough where you didn't have a choice.
Yeah. And I think the situational awareness needs to be applied when you're trying to decide between, is this just a foul or a yellow card?
Yeah.
Or maybe, is this a yellow card or a red card? You know,
Right.
unless it's obvious. But like this could be a good example of you're like, well, is this a yellow card or a red card? And then you play into the fact, oh, well, he's been playing really aggressive all game. I've already warned him 3 times.
Right.
Yeah, this is a red card. Or I don't even know who this is. I haven't spoken to this guy all game. He's never committed a foul. He hasn't done anything. We're only 5 minutes into the game. I'm just going to give him a yellow for this one.
Yeah.
That's where I think situational awareness comes in. But
yeah, I agree.
I don't think it was at that level. I think it was at the level of, should this be a yellow or a red?
You're right. 100%.
So then use your discretion to make your decision. But either way, he's gone. So like, then you just, you know, then if you want to be safe, you give him the yellow and you let the committee decide it should have been a straight red and they fine him later.
But I agree.
But I don't think, you know, when we're talking about, is this a straight red or is it just a foul? That's not, you missed a really big step in the middle there.
Yeah.
So,
because I mean, there's definitely, I mean, I know even when I refed like youth tournaments, they would give referees reports of each of these teams of like foul counts of, you know, like situational awareness, you know, gave you that little bit going in. So, you know, going in, all right, these teams have played each other 3 times. They've all been really chippy games. This guy is known to be a problem. So like they even did that at like a league club level in like middle schoolers. So I know that, you know, part of being that MLS ref is you're doing a lot of research and you know what you're going into. So I understand the situational awareness, but yeah, exactly like you said, this was not the situation in which you apply that. Oh, I just carded him 2 minutes ago. I really don't want to do that. No, you just missed the mark on that one.
Yeah.
So
all right. I guess I kind of assumed we would agree. Mostly agree. I recognize the difference between should this have been straight or but either way, he shouldn't have been on the field to score the goal. So
right, agree.
You know, and now obviously somebody else doesn't score that goal, like you were talking about. The goal that he scored was incredible patience, a lot of skill, little bit of bad defense by us, but it wasn't like a total meltdown on defense like most of the goals we give up have been this season. It was also a lot of skill from him to get around our defenders.
Very true.
You know, do they end up scoring a different goal? I don't know.
It's butterfly effect. I mean, if he gets knocked out, that game probably ends up being 7-6. I mean, you never know with soccer.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's not like football where you can point at one play and like this would have made like soccer, especially something that happened in the first half. Who knows what could have happened?
Yeah.
But the one thing it would have done is it would have made me look like a genius for predicting my not finishing the game with 22 players prediction.
That's true.
First thing I thought of.
That is true. You did get a score right this week, though.
I did.
Foreshadowing. Well, not even foreshadowing. Here, I'll just tell you now. You have tied up points.
I did. I got
because you got Vancouver
points
and a score, and both of us got St. Louis wrong. So you have tied it up at 16.
Let's go.
Look at you go.
I think that's my first time that I've not been losing since it was 0-0.
Yeah, both seasons, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. If I can get a point this week, that might be the first time I've ever led this thing. Actually,
then you just quit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I quit.
Podcast is done.
Yeah. All right, let's hit up. Wow, we're already at 41 minutes. Fun.
Whoopsie doodles.
Let's hit up our MVP from this week.
Let's do it. My MVP is going to be a cop out because they were that good. It has to be the throwback jerseys.
Yeah.
They looked so good on the field.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the retro jerseys that have been released so far, I don't know if there's more, but the ones that have been released, really cool. I am taking away all the credit of the Miami ones looking good, though.
Why is that?
Because you've been a team for 4 years. You don't get a retro jersey.
Yeah, that's
fair.
What
are you doing?
What they should have done is they should have done the original. I can't remember. Was it the original 10 clubs that started the league?
Yeah, something like that.
That's what they should have done. They should have done those 10 clubs.
Yeah, I'm like, how does Miami get a retro kit? It's their like 6th kit in team history. How is it a retro kit?
I don't think it was branded as a retro kit. I think ours was just a retro kit.
Yeah, it might. I think I know Galaxy's was also. I think they were all retro kits because I think it was on MLS's website. Let's see if I can go to their
I don't
archive collection. That's what it is.
Archive collection.
Which still.
Yeah, I could understand.
How does Miami get a archive jersey?
Well, archive doesn't necessarily mean retro. It just means that like something got thrown into the closet, never got used.
Okay. This says on MLS's official website, tapping into 1980s nostalgia, Inter Miami's archive kit leans heavily on the vibrancy of vintage Miami style.
There you go.
So it's the vintage of the like city style, not their club. Oh, that's so dumb. Like, there's 7 other teams you could have given a archive jersey to. You had to this could have just been a 3rd kit for Miami, and they could have been like, "Hey, we're going back to like 80s Miami type vibe." Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but
but
I love it.
Yeah. Your MVP.
I'm gonna go with Willie Gatta.
Yeah.
I mean, great. Honorable mention for Voltaire.
Oh yeah.
He's silent, but he's so good. It's nice to have him back. You know,
he does what you need him to do every time.
Yep. MVP.
You put it in your own goal, you get an MVP. Voltaire.
Yeah, that was also mine. For that reason too. Really, nobody really looked that bad. So I'm like, I'm having a hard time picking anybody because everybody kind of looked fine. So
it's really unfortunate for him because he didn't necessarily deserve it. Yeah. And like even in the own goal, like he was just trying.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Yeah.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, again, we don't have any current corner because
they're on a break.
So, yeah, they're on a break. So do you want to feel like doing a table update, or is it pretty much the same as it always is, and we should just go to good, bad, and ugly?
Miami's leading the East by 5 points. LA is we've got LA Galaxy in first, LAFC in second, RSL in third, and then Colorado in fourth.
Oh, look at that.
So
didn't realize Colorado was that high.
Yeah, they have been for a bit. Right. And then Kansas City in 12th with 24 points. St. Louis right behind us with 23 points. So,
well, at least they're below us.
That's all that matters.
All right. Let's hit good, bad, and ugly. Go ahead and hit me with your good.
My good, it has to be, you've probably not even seen this because I literally just watched this as I was waiting for you to show up. But we had the Olympic soccer tournament started today as we're recording on Wednesday, July 24th. And I don't think this may have been the first game, but it was a Morocco against Argentina. Morocco was up 2-1, trying to pull the upset bid on Argentina. And in the dying moments of the game, Argentina, in 14th minutes of stoppage time, gets the tying goal, making it 2-2. After that, the beer bottles start raining down from the Morocco fans.
Of course.
There's all kinds of junk everywhere. So they send the players to the locker rooms. Don't know why they didn't just call the game, but they send the players to the locker rooms. But during this time, one of the Moroccan players is appealing to the referee that this is offsides. So while they're in the delay, VAR looks at it, and they did determine it was offsides.
Huh.
So they then bring all the players back. At this point, the stands have been emptied. The arena is completely empty, including the commentators. They had already left the stadium because this was an hour and a half after the game first started. Or I'm sorry, an hour and a half after the game, after they sent the players to the locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody assumed they were just going to call the game. But they dragged them all back out. They made the VAR announcement to an empty stadium. And then they kicked it off from the VAR from the goal kick. And game finished like 30 seconds later, blew his whistle, 2-1 Morocco.
Awesome.
So just awesome moment, 2-1, or what a way to get your an upset win. So that's my good.
Yeah, that's a good one. I did not watch that today. I watched several other games, but I didn't watch that one. So how fun.
Yeah.
Also, a nice 3-0 thrashing for us by France. So
yeah,
off to a great start. Awesome.
But Busio did get the start.
That's true. That's true.
Good for him.
My good. We're gonna go over to Philadelphia. Philadelphia won 5-1 this past week. As I'm sure is foreshadowing your bad or ugly, I would assume. The fifth goal was scored by Quinn. What was his last name? Sandoval, I want to say.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
I think it was Sandoval. See, now I feel like I should find it. I want to say it's Sandoval because for some stupid reason, I only put his first name, but it's important.
Okay.
Also, it was 2 games ago. It was when we were playing Vancouver, same day. Yeah, Sullivan. I was close.
Okay.
So Quinn Sullivan scores the 5th goal. Do you know who that is?
Is that the 14-year-old?
No.
No.
But that brings me to my good.
Okay.
Because 2 minutes after Quinn Sullivan scored, his 14-year-old little brother made his MLS debut for Philly, being the youngest player to play in the MLS.
Yeah.
Beating, I think Freddie Adu was still the youngest. He beat him by like 30 days or something like that. But
yeah. I did Creed Humphrey on that one though, because whenever they signed him, I talked about that. So
that doesn't count as a Creed Humphrey. Because you didn't mention that he played. All you mentioned was that he started or that he signed.
Right, because at the time he was the youngest signee, so he hadn't played yet.
Oh yeah, right. But he also became the youngest to play. So
he did. Good.
If he had waited until next month, he wouldn't have been the youngest to play. So, but he got into a game here. Didn't seem to do much. I believe Philadelphia did get fined pretty heavily for child labor laws.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. That's probably a joke.
No, you're not wrong.
No, I know that there are child labor laws, but I didn't hear anything about them actually getting fined for it.
Yes, no, that was the thing. Whenever they signed him, is they had to understand that they would have to pay child labor laws depending on where they played.
Yeah.
Because like if they play in New York and a game goes past 7:00, they would have to like pay fines for child labor laws.
Yeah.
So I don't know specifically in this game, but they are legit. Like there's going to be fines if he plays in certain games.
Yeah. I do remember when we had Busio here and he was 16, like he couldn't play after 11, I think it was, if we were at home, because that was the labor laws for over 16 in Kansas or something like that. And I seem to remember him getting subbed out of at least one game because of what time it was. But I could be misremembering that. But I do remember talking about, maybe not with you, but I remember hearing people talk about how he was young enough that we have to abide by these labor law things.
That is great. I love it. That's crazy.
I don't know why we don't either A, have exceptions, or B, like your parents can just sign a waiver. Like, although that leads to some sticky stuff with a parent signing a waiver so that they can work at, Olive Garden or something. So
work in the coal mines.
Yeah. All right, hit me with your ugly.
My ugly. I'm going to take us around the world.
Wait,
all the way back to Philadelphia.
Hit me with bad. We skipped bad.
That's my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I didn't pay attention to what you said. I'm going to take us all the way around the world back to Philadelphia, where Philadelphia put a thrashing on New England Revolution. I don't know if you saw this one.
I have seen
They
it. Yeah.
scored 5 on New England Revolution.
Yep.
So there's my bad.
Nice. Love that.
Yep.
My bad. We're going to go over to Philadelphia for this one. No, I'm kidding. My bad is that we didn't wear our retros against St. Louis.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Why, other than that's the day that they launched, why would we only wear our retros in a road game?
Yeah.
Against a team that doesn't have a retro jersey? It doesn't make any sense. Why? I assumed they were going to also wear them on Saturday, but then they didn't. That's my bad, because A, it's dumb, and B, those jerseys are incredible. They need to be worn every day for the rest of the season.
Agreed. 100%.
So I am still bummed. Secondary bad that they don't do goalkeeper retro jerseys.
Yeah.
Because they need to. I sent you a picture of exactly why I think they need to.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it quickly. Oh, I can. There you go.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They're pretty good.
Can you imagine that with Mealy on the back? Yeah. Buy it immediately. I want it. Why can't we have retro goalkeeper jerseys?
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. They used to be fun.
Yeah. All right, hit me with your ugly.
My ugly. I can't remember if I actually complained about this last year or not. But I'm going to complain about it again because I can. I cannot stand the MLS All-Star system. I hate it. I think it's dumb that we play Liga MX.
Okay.
Because first of all, we get beat all the time. And last year's a perfect example where we got beat by, 17.
Yeah.
And just showing how bad our league is at times. Just play each other like every other league does in the world, or every other American thing does it. I know All-Star Games isn't anything else for soccer, but just do East versus West, or just do whatever. Do something other than playing a different league so we can get beat every year. I hate it. I think it's dumb. So that's my ugly, is the All-Star system. I don't like it.
Fair enough. I don't hate it. I kind of agree with you. Like, why did we get away from East versus West? Because it used to be East versus West. I don't know why we got away from it.
Money.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And, but you're right. All it really does so far is really show how far behind we are on other leagues. Right. But maybe this year will be different. Who knows? Tune in tonight. You'll find out. I don't know. Personally, I'd be cool if they just got rid of the All-Star stuff altogether. Why do we need it? I don't care. Personally, I don't need All-Star stuff for any sport. I don't like any of it. Except for, I think they could do an Sorry. I forgot a very key word. The All-Star game.
Yes.
Get rid of the game altogether. Just have an All-Star break where you can honor all the All-Stars. You can still do this because the skills stuff is cool.
Yeah, it is fun.
Goalie Wars is the coolest thing ever invented. Period. Yeah. Sliced bread, nothing. The only thing that I would hear an argument for is a doorknob, but in reality, we don't really need those.
Yeah.
Goalie Wars is incredible, but like, why do we need the game? Say home run derby, awesome. I feel like they could do something cool for pitchers. That would be cool. Right. We could do the same thing for all that. Why do we need the game? I don't care about the game. We don't need it.
I mean, nobody cares. Players don't care about the game.
No, yeah. Same with Pro Bowl. Nobody needs the Pro Bowl. Have the skills stuff and have a weekend where you can acknowledge everybody. Cool. Why do we need the game?
I don't think they did the game last year. I think they canned the game.
They might have. I don't remember. I don't pay attention to it. That's my point. Like, I don't care about the game. I don't watch it. I might watch tonight, depending on what we're doing. But I just don't get rid of the game. We don't need it. Do the skills thing. Acknowledge all the All-Stars.
Yeah.
Here's a trophy, a medal, a plaque, whatever you're going to give them.
I'm good with that.
And then who cares? Why? Why are we doing all this extra stuff? Just get rid of it.
Yeah, it is silly. I've never liked it. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah, but I agree. Playing Liga MX, at least right now, doesn't make any sense. If we can, maybe we'll get better and we'll start beating them, and then it'll be more interesting. I do like that they come compete in the skill stuff with us, though.
Yeah, that is fun.
That's kind of cool. But honestly, that could be the game, and I think that it is maybe be how they do it. It might be Liga MX versus our All-Stars, and then there's different competitions, and it's all point-based, and then you find out who wins at the end. Is that how they do it?
Well, each competition is just 1 point in the total It's just whoever wins the most competitions.
So then either Liga MX or MLS wins the skills competition.
Yeah,
as a whole, right?
Yeah, Liga.
Why do we need the game then? Just do that. Just do the skill stuff.
Yeah.
Add up all the points. You can have individual winners of best trick shot or whatever.
Well, I think part of it is that MLS and Liga MX want a strong partnership. There's been between Leagues Cup, there's been a lot more attempts to integrate the leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could be wrong. I don't think there's an intent to join the leagues together, which I think would be a terrible idea.
No, I don't think they're doing that at all.
I don't think there is an intent for that, but I do think they want the leagues to be closely integrated in a lot of different things. So I think that's why they're doing it. That and money.
Yeah,
but I'm
sure part of it has to do with they're trying to boost our talent level and make us better because we're playing stiffer competition. I have no problem with that. And maybe the reason why it sucks so bad right now is that so far it hasn't done anything.
Right.
But it's only been a couple years. It's not like we were going to start playing Liga MX and then all of a sudden just be incredible.
Right.
It's going to take a few years for us to get, to where we're at that talent level. Honestly, to me, it kind of surprises me that we don't do as well against them as we should. It's not like it's just Americans that make the MLS All-Star team.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So, the All-Star team is people from other countries too. So
yeah. And it could be part of it, the mentality. I mean, Americans can be obviously we're not Americans, but the American culture can be very elitist at times. And so maybe that's playing into it. The Liga MX, they want to beat the Americans.
Yeah.
And we just may not care as much. So it may be the mentality part of it as well.
True.
Because I agree with you. It is surprising that we don't do as well as we should.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we used to play. I remember played Manchester City once.
Yeah, that was way worse in my opinion. Way worse. Because we're not playing another all-star team there. We're taking our best players in our league and playing just a singular team who most of the time didn't even play their starters.
Right.
And losing most of those games. That was way worse. That was just showing an even further gap between that league and our league. At least Liga MX were similar in our league levels, at least on paper. So I like this a lot better than when we used to play it was cool to play Man City, but when your best of the best in your league get beat 6-1 by Manchester City's B squad, that does not bode confidence for our league. So I think that's why they quit doing that.
No, I agree 100%, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
That being said, East versus West.
Yeah, 100%.
Get team captains, draft a team, whatever crazy format you want to do. It doesn't matter, but don't go against other leagues. It doesn't do good for anybody.
Do a random draw.
Yeah, do that.
Have your all-stars pick 26 all-stars or whatever. 30, 32 all-stars, whatever you want. Pick all of them, and then they just randomly draw blue or red, and then that's your team.
That would be fun, but what I would love to see is get 2 team captains, and then literally the match, you walk out all the players onto the field.
So there's no practice. It's just
schoolyard style.
Yeah,
pick
that would
your
be kind of cool too.
And then go. There's no practice. You haven't gotten to play with them at all. Just 11v11. Figure it out.
That would be cool.
I think that'd be fun.
Have a one jersey that's interchangeable.
Right.
So it's just depending on what team you get, you pull out red or blue or whatever.
Right.
That would actually be really cool. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, just old schoolyard style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's we're already at an hour, so we're pretty much done. We got a preview.
I don't think you did your ugly.
Oh, I didn't, but it was Philly losing 5-1 or winning 5-1.
Okay.
So that was my ugly. So
fair enough.
I kind of did it, but I didn't actually talk about it. But
right.
Yeah, that's all it was.
All right, fair enough.
Let's see. This Saturday we play Chicago Fire, I believe.
Sunday.
You're right. It's 28th. Yeah. Sorry, I clicked off of it. I don't know why I did that, but I can't remember if it's home or away. I think it's away.
It's home. We played both of our games at home.
Oh, cool. This is in Leagues Cup, of course. Group stage, I assume. Yeah, group stage. Yeah, it's the U.S. Open Cup that we don't enter until after group stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, we play Chicago Fire. They are 0-0-0.
You want to maybe look at the standings?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I've got it. They are
Okay,
6-12-7.
Okay.
6-12 losses and 7 draws. They are
they're basically us.
Yeah, they're 14th in the East.
Okay. All right. I imagine we should be able to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why not. I'm going 2-1, and I'm going first.
Fair enough.
Just because I never go first.
2-1 Sporting.
Yes. Sorry.
I am going to go.
It's Ducks going second, doesn't it?
Well, no. I was going to go 3-1 Sporting until I saw a very interesting statistic, which is we have lost to them in our last 3 matches. Which I don't know, kind of doesn't matter too much because they're all different teams, but that does make me wonder. No, I'm actually going to go 2-2.
2-2. All right.
Yep.
We've only lost our last 2, according to ESPN.
No, the last 3 matches we've lost.
I see 1-0 Chicago in 23, in 22, 3-1 Chicago, 2-0 us in 2021.
Oh, that is us. I'm sorry. I don't know how to read.
Yeah, that's fair. And then a draw, and then a Sporting win.
Yep. So, 2-2 draw, and then straight to PKs, right?
Not in group stage, isn't it?
I thought it went straight to.
I thought that was point for.
I don't think so. I think you go straight to.
Then why do they have group stage? I thought group stage is just points, so it's.
It's
just
still
like
points.
group stage of anything else.
It's still points. Hang on, I'm checking.
Oh, I remember what you're talking. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's like an extra point if you win in PK, or I remember what you're talking about. They do have weird rules for it.
Since the tied match directly for penalties.
That's right.
So,
but then both teams get a point. It's just an additional point for who wins PKs, isn't it?
I don't remember. That's how it is in hockey. I know that.
I think I want to say that's what it was. It was both teams get a point for the draw. It's an additional point for winning PKs.
I'm checking. I will verify.
Because I think that was the only reason to do PKs was just to get an extra point out of that game versus just awarding both teams 1 point.
Well, unless it's still you just get 3 points for it.
Right.
I'm looking. You go ahead. We'll come back to mine.
Well, I don't have anything else. That's the end of our life here.
Oh, well, okay. Hang on. Oh, that's useless. Oh, no, you're right. Okay, match is tied after 90 minutes. Advance to a penalty shootout where the winner earned 2 points and the loser earns 1. I love that format. I
do too.
I think it's amazing. You still get something for making it to through 90 minutes. You don't have to play another 60, considering the heavy schedule we're dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great for an extra 30, not 60. So,
and we have Tim Melia, who probably won't play. Maybe he will. I don't know. We don't have Pulse Camp, so
right. I think he will. We might see Shui.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might see him.
Maybe.
I don't know what kind of lineup. I have no idea what to expect of what kind of lineup we're going to roll out for this. So
if you're 4 points up from the bottom of the league, you have to go for whatever silverware you can.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I would, if I were Peter, I'd send all in. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get these people out of here.
Let's do it.
We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. As always, you can catch our video. Oh, yeah, there we go. You can catch our video on Fired Up Network on True TV app, which you can get on Amazon App Store, Roku, and Apple TV. You can also catch us on YouTube, which if you're watching, that's probably where you are. So like and subscribe down below. We got 1 subscriber last week, by the way.
Hey!
Yeah. Whoever you are, you the real MVP.
Thank you, random citizen.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We love it.
But if we could get a few more, that would really help us push ourselves out further. So
we'd love it.
Same with Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you listen to the podcast at. If you could give us a like there, that really helps us. So
sure does.
Logan, I appreciate you as always.
I appreciate you, Steve.
You all have a great week.
See everybody.